you doing? As you can see, I'm very much alive. Well, it's been an interesting week. Actually, it's been a pretty interesting last couple of days for the trolls, the lefties that would like to shut me up, for my family, for my friends, for those of you out there that have been my friends for some time. I would like to thank you very much for doing so. I'm going to share a couple things with you tonight. I would like for you to do me a favor and share the what I'm doing here tonight. Now, I've had, as you guys know, I have been attacked by trolls and lefties and people that just hate my guts because I block them. Can you believe that there are such psychotic friggin' people in the world that have nothing to do but try to destroy other people's lives? You know, I told somebody just recently that I am willing to go as far as you want to take this. There are three things that I live for. I don't live for Facebook. That's for friggin' sure. And even though my friends out there and people that follow my show, our show together, the TCR family, I love you, respect you, but I don't live for you either. I live for my God, my family, and my country. Period. So, somebody recently told me that they were going to do everything and anything possible to take Mark Connors down, to take my shows down, to take my my duty as a fellow American to share with you the knowledge and whatever wisdom I find in this world that helps us make ourselves better people, a better world to live in, a better country, and to serve my God. Now, there's a lot of stuff going around on the internet today. One is, guys, one of my pages has been hacked. We're in the process of taking care of that right now. There have been hundreds of people that have received false messages over the last 20 hours or so. One of my friend's Facebook page has been completely taken down because he threatened to actually tell the truth about something. Let me ask you this, you guys, and I've asked you this before. How many of you remember me asking, how far would you go to save a child? Do you remember me asking that? Do you know I keep speaking and I keep saying that, metaphorically speaking, and in a metaphor, I'm saying this and I'm saying that and I'm saying this. Do you remember at any time me asking you folks, how far would you go to save a child? Would you risk your name? Would you risk your career? Would you risk your finances? How about your home, your cars, your integrity, your every being? How far would you go to save a child that needed your help? I'll tell you how far I'll go. And you better be listening up, you folks out there that are Diego Garcia, whoever the hell you want to be today, Kelly, John, Rick, Jerry, and all you other scumbags out there on the left. I will go as far as it needs to go to save a child. See my hand that's made me whatever I've become in my career? I'd cut it off. I'd cut them both off. I would die to save a child in need. And that's a friggin' fact. So, some of you have probably heard me talk about that. Metaphorically speaking, in a way, yeah, I went into a burning house to save 3 young ladies. Have you ever heard me say that metaphorically? That I would run into a burning house. What if you had children and your neighbor had a house and it was burning and there was kids inside? Would you go in there and save them? Do you remember me bringing that up to you folks? I said, when I was talking about 3 young ladies, actually, well, that was a metaphor for something that I knew I was going to bring up one day. Because, and let me tell you this before we go any further. And I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. I am very proud of who I am. I know, and I'm glad God knows too, I'm a good man. I'm a very compassionate, giving, generous, loving, kind gentleman, for the most part, gentlemen. I would die for your children in a heartbeat. Let me ask you a question. Another question. What would you do? And let's rephrase it a little bit different this time. What would you do if 3 little girls walked up to you and said, Mark, we're in trouble. And their mother. Let's include their mother because this is a true story here, not metaphorically speaking any longer. What would you do if an 11-year-old girl, a 14-year-old girl, and a 16-year-old girl, almost 16, a couple months shy of 16, and their mother called you up and said, hey, Darren, Mark, can we come into your office today and talk with you about something that's really important? We need to talk to you. Well, of course, you would probably do what I did. Sure, come on in. Now let's say that these 3 girls and their mother walked into the office, and the mom says, well, we have something that we'd like to show you. And the 15-year-old daughter pulls up her skirt. She's wearing shorts, of course, underneath her skirt. Pulls up her skirt and reveals to you that she's a cutter. And let's say that you see one cut. And you go, oh my God. Oh, whoa, what's with that? Let's turn it into 2 cuts. Nah. Let's turn it into 10 cuts. Nah. Let's turn it into 50 cuts. Nope, doesn't quite cut it either. Let's turn it into from the thigh all the way down past the knee, down the calves, down to the ankles, on the arms, underneath the arms, on her chest, her belly. Over 100 cuts on this young lady's body. Would you do what I did? Well, let me tell you what I did. First thing I did was ran immediately to the bathroom and barfed my guts out and cried. Because I know what cutters are about. I know why young kids cut themselves. I've studied it. I've learned about it. They cut themselves out of depression, sadness, guilt. How could a young child be guilty much of anything other than being a child, being a teenager? So when I saw all these cuts, boy, I just had to ask, what's going on that you need to tell me about? I already knew. Pretty much already knew. And why wasn't Dad of the family in that meeting? Just out of curiosity. Well, it was because Mom and the 3 daughters, the 11-year-old, the 14-year-old, and the 15-and-a-half-year-old, whatever, didn't want Dad there. And what they revealed to me was not only shocking, was not only very sad, heartbreaking. It made me so angry that I just wanted to run out and just find this man. I wanted to beat the hell out of him so bad, so fast. See, because I, as the man that I am, would cut my own hands off before I'd ever lay a hand on a young child. Do you hear me? So, we had our conversation, and I asked explicit questions. Really didn't have to ask too many questions because the girls were very willing to explain to me what was going on. See, I had found out that the girl's father had removed the bedroom doors off of all 3 girls' bedrooms. 11-year-old, 14-year-old, and almost 16-year-old girl. And he did that for a reason. So that they couldn't lock them out at night. You hear where I'm going with this, folks? Now, there I was, country music singer in Nashville, Tennessee. I had 2 CDs out. I had awards. You know the spiel. All over the magazines, on the radio. And I owned a company on this ranch. It's called Music City Dude Ranch. You know what a dude ranch is, right? Where guests come in from all over the world and hang out and ride horses and go shooting and hunting and hiking and playing games and eating great food and all that stuff. I own a business there, Music City Dude Ranch. And these young ladies worked for me along with about another 10 or 12 other young ladies and another probably 7 or 8 young men and maybe probably about another 10 gentlemen that worked on a gunfight that we did. Gunfights for, shootouts in the streets for the guests. Had meals catered in and all that stuff. When I found out about this situation, I looked at the girls and I said, you do know that after revealing this to me, there is no way that I cannot report this to the police. And they begged me not to. They begged me not to. And I said, no, No. So what is it that I can do to help you girls right now? And they said, we need to leave. We need to leave our home. We need to get out of our house. And that's what we're here to ask you to assist us. Please tell us what to do. Please help us out. We trust you. We know that you love our family, the girls. Of course I did. I loved everybody that worked for me. I had a bunch of great young people working for me. Good kids. And you know, when you work with kids like that, you know, you fall in love with all of them. You learn who they are, the kind of people they are, their dreams, their ambitions, their courage. And I love kids. I love young people. I love people, period. So I came up with a plan. And I informed I asked for all of the kids that were working there to tell the parents that I wanted to have a parent night at the ranch. And all of the parents, both mom and dad, were all invited to this big meeting that I was going to have. But none of the kids, none of the teenagers, none of the wranglers, none of those people were allowed to come to the meeting. Just the parents, just the adults that came around. So they all showed up to my meeting. Lots of them, almost all of the parents showed up to the meeting, including a Nashville police officer. And boy, I'll tell you what, Nashville's not going to like what I'm getting ready to tell you. Sorry, Nashville PD, but this is the way it goes, bros. There was a Nashville police officer in that meeting. And I explained to the parents what these three young ladies and their mother had came in and told me and shared with me. That their father was molesting them. All of them, all three of them. And that the mother knew what was going on. I shared that with all of these parents, and we came up with a plan of how to have this man arrested. How to have his ass put in prison. He's a child molester. A rapist. His own daughters. So, I came up with a plan. We all came up with a plan together, and we said, well, what are we going to do? How are we going to do this? And Mr. Officer, Mr. Police Officer from the Nashville Police Department, I'm not going to mention his name, what are you going to do about it? Mr. Policeman, sitting in this meeting right now, hearing what I'm telling you right now, and you know these three little girls yourself. What are you going to do about it? You'll never believe his response. I can't do nothing about it. Huh? Oh, no, I'm just a street cop, but I got a badge on, and I'm sworn to serve and protect and serve. Yet, I can't do anything about it because I don't work with that. I'm just a street beat cop. You know, you'll have to call this guy and that guy. You'll have to call the sheriff's department because it's their jurisdiction. You'll have to call the teen hotlines. All this crap he told me to call. All these people he told me to call. So I called all of them. Sat down one day and called all of them. They all gave me the same response. Okay, have the young girl and her family, the girls, come into the office and file a report, and we'll get involved. They didn't even want me to call the police. They were so terrified of their father that they weren't going to tell anybody but me. The hell. Big responsibility shoved on my shoulders there, folks. And I did what a lot of you people out there would do. Call the police. Call everybody you can think of to get involved in this. I had something in the area of about probably 25 parents in a room that all said, oh, we need to do something about this. For sure. Yet nobody could get anything done. Not even myself. At one point in time, the father of these three young ladies approached me and said, "Hey, Mark, I'd like to have a meeting with you." And I was like, "Oh, man, dude, you don't know. I know. Do you?" He didn't know that I knew. So I went to the meeting with him with a recorder in my pocket, hoping that I'd be able to get his ass on something. Well, I did get him on something, but it wasn't what I was hoping. He asked me, see, he had known that I had been married to Jerry Buss's ex-wife. I haven't told all of you about that. Because Jerry Buss actually married a girl that he met when she was 14 years old. Sorry, Lakers. The truth is the truth. Too bad. That's the way it goes. And this man thought, since I had been divorced in the state of California and my ex-wife was a multi-millionairist, that I probably ran off with 50% of her money. Because in California, it's a 50-50 split state when you get divorced. She gets 50%, I get 50% of millions of dollars. So he presumed that I had millions and millions of dollars and that I was all good for, financially, and he could latch on to my ass. He tried to get me to marry his daughter. He tried to get me to marry his almost 16-year-old daughter. I was 46. I'm 56 now, almost 57. I looked at him and I said, "You're crazy. I'm 46 years old. Why in the hell would I want to be with a 16-year-old girl? And I have a girlfriend," which is 30, at the time she was 34, 35 years old, something like that. He didn't really dig that answer. Nope. So anyway, he moved on in that meeting to ask me if I would be involved in and be interested in investing into a company that he has. He explained it to me, and I realized his company was basically illegal. He would buy homes and put 30 grand down on these big ass $200,000, $300,000 homes, and then never make a payment again after that. He would just put the money down, move in, and never make another payment. Which left, of course, lawyers and real estate people had to come in and jump in and go, "Well, we're going to sue you and we're going to evict you," and and he just sit there and go, "God, go ahead, because I'm a sovereign citizen and you can't remove me from this property." He even sent his 3 little girls out to meet and greet a SWAT team of about 30 police officers in the front yard of his home while he hid inside the house with his shotgun. He sent his 3 little girls out there as little pawns with guns facing a SWAT team. I saw the video. Made me sick. This guy's a piece of shit. Total piece of shit. When I told him that I would not have anything to do with his illegal transactions, that he was going to spend a lot of time in prison when he got caught, he didn't like that either. Matter of fact, he was starting to like nothing about me. And he didn't know at the time yet, still, that I knew what he was doing to his daughters. He didn't know that I also knew that his wife knew what was going on and she wasn't reporting it to the police. She was too scared. They were frightened to death of this man. When we came up with the $5,000 plan and a U-Haul truck to go over and get the girls and get them to move out of the house, we worked up $5 grand, a U-Haul truck. There's somebody on here right now that's watching that was actually there. She was actually there when we were doing it. She's on here right now watching. Thank you and appreciate it. She was also a witness called into the courtroom later on. There is possibly, I'm not sure, another person watching right now, another female that may be watching right now, that was called into the courtroom. That was there also. And that was my girlfriend at the time. This is before I met Jennifer Mills. At this time. It was before I met Jennifer Mills. The girls wouldn't leave. We sent the money. I went over there with an envelope of cash and a U-Haul truck and said, let's load you guys up. Here's cash. You guys get the hell out of town. Go wherever you're safe. I don't care. Go to a hotel. Just go wherever you need to go. Put your stuff in storage, whatever it is. Just get the hell out of here because I'm getting ready to have this house raided. We're going to pick him up and put his ass in jail. And you girls are going to testify against your own father, just like you wanted me to do. You wanted me to fix this problem. I'm fixing it. Wouldn't you guys do the same? So far? They wouldn't go. They wouldn't take the money, and they wouldn't load their stuff up in the truck, and they wouldn't leave. What could I do? Force them? Nope. So I went back again to the phones, called everybody again, and they all said exactly the same thing. Can't do anything until these girls are willing to, ready to stand up and press charges against their father. So then I decided to call in the heavy artillery, so to speak. Lieutenant Governor of the state of Tennessee, David Cooley, which was a personal friend of mine. He knew me, and he trusted me. He knew what kind of man I was. And I don't need to go into the reasons why this man knew me so well. Maybe some of you could probably figure it out. I was a bodyguard for many years, remember? So anyway, I called his office and he said, okay, let's meet. Boom. Went in there, sat there and told him the story about what was going on, begged him. Sir, you've got to do something, man. We can't get anybody to help us. I can't do this by myself. So he said, all right, let me see what I can do. About 4 hours later, that evening, the house was raided. His house was raided by a SWAT team. Thank you, David Cooley, Lieutenant Governor of the state of Tennessee at the time. Yep, they raided the home. And they found the bedrooms with the doors gone, locked up downstairs in a basement where they couldn't put them back on. They found a bunch of other creepy, crazy shit, too, that I'm not even going to get into. It's just too sad. When they raided the house, one of the girls ran away. The 15-year-old jumped out a 2-story building, off the top story house onto the ground to run away because she was so afraid of her father. Because when they actually raided the home, he was on his way into her bedroom. And she couldn't stop him because the door was off. She jumped out the window. And when she jumped out the window, just as she was jumping out the window, the SWAT team is pulling up in their front yard to raid the house. When she saw all these guys in black suits and black this and black that, black SUVs and all this stuff, she had no idea what the hell was going on. She ran like hell. She was picked up that evening when the mother decided and the father decided to have her picked up and taken to juvenile court because she ran away. They said she ran away. Yeah, she did. She ran away from him. And from her, too. From Mom, that wasn't doing shit about what was going on. Left her 2 little sisters in there. Had no choice. The father wasn't arrested that particular night. He was arrested, though, a little later on. Just let me get to that part. The one night, the mother calls me and says, Mark, the girls have ran away. All 3 of them are gone. They just left the house It's pitch dark. It's out in the middle of the country. No lights. No street lights. No nothing like that. Country roads, black, dirt roads. You know what I mean? And I asked, well, where the hell are they going? She said, probably coming to you, looking for safety, for you to protect them. So I told her, I'll tell you what. Excuse me. Chocolate milk. I'll jump in the truck and I'll go looking for them. So I drove around, the countryside looking for them. I found them in the middle of the road, walking down the road, all three holding hands, crying their eyes out. And I parked in the middle of the road with the lights on them. I walked up to them, and these girls just literally, folks, when I'm telling you this was such a hard moment for me. They literally climbed down onto the ground at my feet and grabbed my ankles as tight as they could. They would not let go of my ankles. They had, from my knees down, three beautiful little girls were just clinging to me, bawling, hysterically crying, begging me to stop this. Somehow, stop this. I picked them all up and huddled together, and we, all four of us, just cried. Sat there in the middle of this damn road and cried for probably 20 minutes. And I promised them, right then and there, I promise you, I will not let you down. I will get this man away from you, no matter what it takes. I gave him my word. I even told him, one of the girls said, what are we going to do without our daddy? What are we going to do without a daddy? I told him, I'll adopt all three of you. And I've never wanted kids in my entire life. Let alone three girls and some other man that so emotionally screwed up now. But I told him, I'll adopt you if I have to. I'll take care of you. I'll put you through school. I'll watch you get married and have children. I'll watch you graduate high school and college and all that stuff myself. They actually thought that was kind of a cool idea. Not me, really. Because I don't have children. For reasons. I've never wanted kids. Don't have time for kids, really. But I remember talking with my publicist at the time and telling her, look, I may have to adopt these girls because I have a feeling that both parents are going to go to jail. And they're going to go to foster homes. And I come from foster homes. Don't want them there. So I took them back to their house because legally that's what I had to do. And I told them, just bear with me. Give me a day or so, and I'll do whatever I can. I contacted Mr. David Cooley again the following day and told him what happened. And he said, okay, we think we have enough, actually, from what we found last night at the house, in the house, the investigators, computers, pictures on the computers. We have enough to arrest him. The following night, they went back and they picked him up and arrested him. Good job, huh? We finally had his ass arrested. He was sitting in a friggin' jail cell where he belonged. Of course, he put up bail because he had money. Put up his bail. He was released and he went back home. 3 days later, I'm sitting in my living room at the ranch and I hear the knock at the door. Who is it? Well, it's the blah, blah, blah sheriff's department. Fucking cool. You guys are going to come in and do an interview? We're going to get to the bottom of this shit? Awesome. Come on in, guys. Come on in. So the officers come into my living room and they sit down, and one of them looks at me and says, Mr. Newland, because that is my legal name. That's not my real name, not my blood father's name, but my legal name. Because, see, I was basically raised by another scumbag. Yep. Let me show you who the scumbag is that I'm talking about right now. This guy. United States of America plaintiffs Arlene Newland, Antonio Hernandez, Menendez, Santos, Hernandez, Mendez, Nick Newland, defendants, applicants. Nick Newland was my stepfather. A scumbag, a dirtbag, a drug dealer, a bad man, a man that I would never want to have anything to do with. And when I was 12 years old, I told him to go shove it up his ass. I have nothing, don't want to have anything to do with you criminal, crook, little scumbag. And he threw my ass out. That's how I ended up living in an alley at such a young age. You can look this up if you'd like to. Open Jurist. Google. Nick Newland arrested. Nick Newland, United States versus Nick Newland. Look it up and find out who my stepfather was at the time. Find out what kind of man he was and who he worked for and the kind of people he worked for and a name that you don't even want to mention, let alone go talking about, dumb shits. And find out who my stepfather was at the time when I was a young man. Read the names that are involved with this guy. And you'll know what I'm talking about of why I hate men like that. You'll know why I would do everything and anything to get these pieces of shit off the damn street. I hate them. I hate those kind of men. So, being raised around a scumbag like that, till I was 12 years old anyway, well, I learned pretty quickly that I don't want to be anywhere near shitbags like that. That's why I changed my name to my blood father's name. Mark Connors. Whether you want to believe it or not. Sure deal. It's up to you. Doesn't matter to me. Particular, really don't even care. With all due respect. So, when the father was picked up and arrested and booked into jail, when he got out, what do you think he did? What do you think he did when he went home to his 3 young lady girls, the little girl and the 2 teenagers, young ladies, and his wife? What do you think he said to them? How do you think he treated them when he got home and found out about all of the plans that we had made to have his ass arrested? What do you think he said to them when he found out that we sent a U-Haul trailer over there, a U-Haul truck and $5,000 in cash and a whole bunch of parents that knew what was going on over there ready to load up that house and get the frig out of there before he got back home his out-of-town trip? Scared the shit out of them. Terrified them. Not only that, he said, this is what we're going to do. Mark Newland tried to break up our family. Yeah, sorry. Sure the hell did. And I'd do it all over again. Sure the would. Sorry, but Grandma might be watching. Try to watch my lingo. So he decided to tell the young ladies his new plan. It was to get rid of Mark Newland. Kind of like these scumbag dirtbags are doing on Facebook right now to me. Didn't want the truth to come out. You don't want the truth to come out? Too friggin' bad. Guess what? The truth's coming out. Look at my chin. Hey, Rick, and all of you people out there that said that I was going to hold my head down in shame and hide and run and put my tail between the legs and not fight for my country because you don't agree with my feelings for my country, I got news for you. Kiss my ass. And again, I'm going to tell you right now, there isn't anything you can do to me to make me stop fighting for my country, my God, my fellow brothers and sisters of all colors. Do you understand now? Nothing. Because I am very proud of everything I've ever done in my life, including what I'm telling you right now. And I got news for you. I just revealed who my stepfather was. You want to go messing with those people? Do you? You want to go messing with the Mexican mob? Be my guest. Go ahead. Be my guest. Knock your silly, stupid asses out. Good luck with that. Want to go play around with MS-13? Go ahead. It's your business, man. So, after this evening, what kind of ammunition are you going to have to shut me down now? Huh? Because look at my chin. Look right into my eyes and look at my chin. It's up. And I'm smiling. And I'm proud of myself. And there isn't jack squat, diddly squat that you can do to me. There isn't any lies that you can make up and bullshit that you can throw out to the general public to make me hold my head down in shame. It's not gonna friggin' happen, as you can see. Because now I'm gonna get to the good part. So, I had these police officers knocking at my door saying they wanted to talk to me about Dad. Cool, sure, not a problem. Guess what they ended up doing? Mr. Newland, have you ever hugged or kissed one of these young ladies? Well, of course I did. I hugged and kissed their mother and all three of the girls when I saw them, along with many other women that I know when I see that are my friends, people that I love. I kiss them on the cheek and give them a hug. Yeah, sure. Where are you going with this? Well, did you ever fondle one of the girls' breasts? Whoa, dude! What the are you talking about? Well, Mr. Newland, we know who you are. We know what you do musically, because a lot of you don't know that I already made it in the country music business as Mark Newland already before Mark Connors. I was already in all of the country music magazines. I was already all over the radio. I've made it twice in my career, in a music career, twice in the country music business with two different names. It's almost impossible to friggin' do for one guy, and I did it twice. Now here's where I'm going with this, folks. The man said, I know who you are, Mr. Newland. We did our homework on you. We know what, we know all about your career, and, we don't want to be disrespectful, and we don't even want to be here right now because we know some things that we can't explain to you, but we're going to tell you right now, if we want to talk with you. Now, do remember, Mr. Newland, that you don't have to talk to us. You do have the right to remain silent. You do know that anything that you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. And I said, yeah, I know my rights. And I won't be talking to you. Not right now. Not without a lawyer present. And they said, we understand that. So would you do us a favor and come on with us downtown? We're going to book you, and we're going to let you go. You're going to put up bail, and you're going to go home. And I went, for what? And they said, aggravated statutory rape. Me? Me? A man that would almost, I can't even say it on Facebook, what I would do to somebody, and you're accusing me of being that kind of man? Really? Well, you're definitely not going to get shit out of me. And he said, no, we didn't expect to, and don't worry about it, sir. Just let's go down. And they literally, it's really funny. You ever seen a police officer arrest a man and not handcuff him before? They didn't handcuff me. You ever seen them arrest somebody for the things that they're talking about and not have a warrant for the house to search the home and maybe even confiscate computers. Shit like that. They didn't do that to me. Matter of fact, they were accusing me of raping a 15-year-old girl. Wait a minute here. That's what the charges said. That's not what I was arrested for, though, folks. I was arrested for supposedly, allegedly fondling a girl's breast. Did you know that in the state of Tennessee, this is crazy as hell, but 40 miles, well, 60 miles away from where we are at, I could have married this girl, supposedly. That's what the father told me. You can marry my daughter with my permission. We just go over to Kentucky and we get you married just like that. And you're in the family. And all that Laker money, all those millions of dollars all of a sudden is in his family? Oh, no way. No way. So, no searching my house, no handcuffing me. Matter of fact, he said, "You want a cigarette?" As we're walking down, you get in the car, and he literally even got in the car. He didn't even open my door. He said, he kind of just pointed out the door. I opened up the door. I got in the back seat, sat down with him, and he said, "I don't even want to be doing this, sir, because we kind of know what's going on here. We know. And this really sucks that we have to be here at your home doing this." So they took me down to the Nashville hotel, so to speak. That's what I call it, kind of, jail. And they booked me, allegedly, of fondling a girl's breast, not raping her, not having sex with her. Did you know that in the state of Nashville, Tennessee, or in Tennessee, that you can get 25 years up for fondling a minor's breast, but for having sex with her, 10, 7? Can you believe that? So who would make up a story that I would fondle some girl's breast instead of having sex with her? Why not? You would think rape, aggravated rape, is what they said. Oh, I maliciously grabbed this girl and raped her, and no. Mm-mm. It's not at all what happened at all, period. Instead, father said that I fondled her breast. I just touched her breast one time. Interesting, huh? Pretty sick, actually. So I go down there to the jail, and I go to post my bail. You'll never believe what the bail was. $75,000. 75 grand? Why would somebody put $75,000 bail on me? Because some prosecutor didn't want me to be bailing out. They thought that I couldn't afford it. Well, they were wrong. And I walked out of that jail 3 hours later. Went home, met with my attorney, met with all of the parents, rallied up the whole shebit and bang-a-boodle, all of the people, including that police officer, subpoenaed the lieutenant governor of the state of Tennessee, also put out the word that we were going to subpoena Taylor Swift, Shania Twain, Reba McEntire, and about 4 other ladies that had been with me alone many times. We were going to pull their ass into court as my witnesses, including David Cooley, Lieutenant Governor of the state of Tennessee, was going to be one of my witnesses. That I had reported all of this, and that I had been trying to put this man in prison myself already before. This man turned the table, folks. He talked his daughter into saying that I fondled her breast. 3 times, he said. So they charged me with 3 different charges of statutory aggravated statutory rape. Interesting, huh? Then they reduced the charges to just statutory rape. Then they dropped the charges because they knew damn well this was all bullshit. When we went into the courtroom, they learned a lot of stuff, and they dropped all of the charges and said, Mr. Newland, we're done. Go home. You know what happened? You'll never believe this shit. As I'm walking out the door of the courthouse, the father is there, standing there, looking at me, smiling at me. He says, I'm going to put you away for the rest of your life. I just looked at him like, no, you're not. I'm going home, dude. You're going to go to prison, bar. You watch. He stands up and he says, Your Honor, walks in there and says, Your Honor, there was a fourth time. What? Yes, Your Honor, there was a fourth time that we just forgot to tell you about. They rearrested me. They had to. He filed a police report and said there was a fourth time. How come that was never brought up before? Because there wasn't. There wasn't even the 3 or the 4. It's all bullshit. All lies. To save his own ass. To save his own friggin' pathetic, pedophile, rapist ass. And put me in prison instead of him. Pretty shitty, huh? So they rearrest me and rebook me, and we go right back into the damn courtroom. Right there. The judge says, oh, no. I know what's going on here. Because the judge actually was a female judge. She had a 14-year-old child, a girl, herself, a 14-year-old daughter, herself, the judge, in the Bible Belt of the country, Nashville, Tennessee. And she says, you know what, we're going to do something a little bit different this time. This time, we're going to hold our court proceedings right now, right here, except for that you, Daddy, are not allowed in the courtroom. Just the girls. Not even Mom. Just the girls. He kind of had a little shitty hissy fit when he found out that he wasn't going to be able to be in that courtroom and scare the shit out of these girls when they were on the stand this time. It didn't work the first 3 times, but this time, the judge literally looked at the courtroom and said, this is about as ridiculous as a what did she say? This is about as ridiculous as a tadpole out of water. Whatever the hell, I don't get it. I'm not a Southern boy. Dad wasn't allowed in the courtroom anymore. Smart move on the behalf of that judge. Because when we put those girls back on the stand immediately, boy, my attorney went to work and got those girls to tell the truth again, except for this time, they really said it quite differently because Dad wasn't sitting there to give them the eye and give them the little winks and the little rehearsals that they had set up for asking questions. Yes or no was 1 wink. Yes was 1 wink. Or, no was 2 winks. I don't know was a wipe on the forehead. Bullshit stuff like that, that they'd planned out before the trial so that Daddy could coach them from the seats out there. The whole ball game changed, folks. The girls fessed up. Came right out and said, my daddy told us to tell you guys this. My daddy coached us into this. My daddy told us what to say, when to say, how to say, what to lie about, everything. It was all him. And we all just sat there and went, whoa. Finally, the girls broke down. The mother was threatened with jail time. She broke down, told the truth. This scumbag had it out for me. Just wanted to put my ass in jail because I wouldn't marry his 15-and-a-half-year-old daughter and he could not have my friggin' money. I went home, folks. That day. I went home. I never served a day in jail. I don't give a shit what anybody says. I can prove it. All you got to do is go to my website and look at the dates of my concert dates and my appearances and all that stuff. You can see where I was. Wasn't in no jail. Yet there are people on here on the internet saying that I was in jail for a year. And probation for a year. The hell are they talking about? You liars. You piece of crap leftist liars that are hired out there to try to shut people like me down on the internet, trying to stop me from fighting for my country. It isn't working. It still isn't working. And now you have no ammunition at all whatsoever. Go ahead, Kelly Taylor sent out something that I saw tonight from somebody that said he better watch out. Santiago Garcia, or whatever, Gonzalez, might come out. Dude, bring him out! Because I'll knock his ass out too. I'm not stopping. Don't you get it? You are never, ever going to stop me from fighting for my country. Do you get it? You have no more ammunition. Do you understand? There isn't a damn thing you could ever say, do, act, show, fabricate, lie about to ever stop me now. Get it through your friggin' thick skull, Kelly Taylor, John Taylor, Rick, Jerry. Get it through your heads. You have no ammunition now. Kiss my red, white, and blue, God-loving, respecting, all-American, red, white, and blue rock and roll country ass. Because before this time in my life, I had never been in trouble with the law other than a traffic friggin' warrant, a joint when I was 20 years old, nothing else. You think you're going to reveal who my stepfather was? Knock yourself out, dudes. Go ahead. Because if, like I said, if you want to go messing with the Mexican friggin' mob, that's your business, man. The FBI has been watching me since I was a child because of this asshole. They know all about me. So you remember when I told you that I have put men in prison before? I have. And if I have to do it again, oh, you bet your sweet little asses I will do it again. I promise you. So, Rick, what you got now, bro? What you gonna do when we come for you? What you got now, Rick? What you got now, Kelly Taylor? You little what do you got? You people act like Antifa. You people act like people that are hired from the left side to destroy men like me. And you don't have jack crap now to use against me to shut up. Nothing. You want to bring up the military shit? Go ahead. I told you. I will meet you head on, face to face, eye to eye. I will stand up to you, and I will prove your ass wrong every friggin' time. You thought that I was weak enough to go and commit suicide? You thought that you would push me into being so embarrassed and humiliated of the kind of man that I am? Are you friggin' kidding me? No way. You thought that I would go and hang myself? You wanted me to go and end my own life? Because I blocked some dirtbag girl that can't handle the fact that I didn't want anything to do with her? You're out of ammo, dudes. I'm very proud of who I am. I'm proud of the man I am. I know that God is proud of me. I know that my country is proud of me. I know that my fellow Americans are proud of me. I know that my family is proud of me. And I am proud of myself, and you have nothing but shit, nothing left. Nothing. I'm live, right here, right now, in your face, on the Connors Report. And you can make up all the bullshit that you want to. People are not stupid, you guys. And if people can't understand and look at the story that I just told and the crap that I just shared and figure it out for themselves, there's only a couple things wrong with them. They're either dumb, stupid, or they don't want to know the truth. But I just told you the truth. And you can check on it. I've never done a day in jail. Why is that? What judge lets a rapist walk out the door? A judge that knows he's not a rapist. What judge? Matter of fact, I do believe it is a law in this country that if you are a convicted rapist, you are on a fucking list. Isn't that so? You have to be on a list. You must be on a predator list. Look me up. You won't find my name on any predator list because I'm not a predator. Show me my prison records. Show me where I spent 1 hour in a prison cell. Can't find it because I never did any. Now you ask yourself, people, what judge lets a man that's accused of raping a 15-year-old girl walk out the door? What judge? Oh, Rick, are you guys going to come up and say that I bought them off? Is that what you're going to say? That I bought the courts off? Wow. Thanks for giving me so much credit, because I've already heard that bullshit that that's what you're going to say. You guys are ridiculous. You're not going to stop me. Do you understand? Here I am. Proud. Honored to be an American. I am proud as hell to sit here in front of you folks. And you know why I'm doing this? You know why I kept leading up to this stuff, kept leading up to the metaphors of some of the things that I've done in my life? It's because I plan on sharing them with you. This is one of them, and one of them is cyberbullying. You guys literally thought you'd have my ass committing suicide. You thought I would commit suicide. Do you know what you guys are? You're terrorists. You're cyber bullies. It's against the law, what you're doing. And you are knowingly, willingly, intentionally, maliciously doing it. Not only to me, you are harassing many, many other people trying to turn them against me. And you know what? You know what every adult in this room watching right now is going to say? You guys are crazy. Because I would have done just what he did, what I did. You would have went just as far. You would have done everything. You would have given up everything, done everything, tried everything. You would have risked it all, your name, your career, everything, to save 3 little girls. I know you would. People that watch my show would. But that's why you were blocked, Kelly Taylor. You don't belong watching my show. That's why you are blocked, Rick Smith. Now, I know you guys watch my shows from other little fake pages. But as time goes along, we will sift you out over and over and over and over, and we will just wear you out. And now, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to make up now? Because none of it's going to work. I can tell you this, though. If I was a weak man, like maybe some of you might think, you're right. I would probably be dead right now. I would have committed suicide. Because you guys have bullied me enough to wear down most people. Down in shame. Oh, so much shame. That they would probably kill themselves, and you would probably stand there and go, oh, goody, 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 we took down Another good guy. Goody for you. But I want you to know something, you scumbags. There are over 4,000 children every year that are cyberbullied by pieces of crap just like you. And over 30% of them kill themselves because of people just like you. And that's what I'm fighting for right now. And you guys tried to make it look like I committed suicide. And I want to know which one of you dirtbags hacked into my page. I want to know which one of you dirtbags hacked into a friend of mine's page that was going to get ready to interview me on this stuff here. Which one of you? Guys want to hear a little bit of something? And let me play a little something for you.
This is Jennifer Mills with Worldwide Backstage Pass. Today is April 25th, 2013, and I'm speaking with Mark Connor's publicist, Janita Piper. Hi, Janita. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm fine. How are you, Jen?
I'm doing good. Well, we have a story today that's been waiting a long time to be heard, and I have some questions I wanted to ask.
Okay.
How long have you known Mark?
Nearly 10 years.
And in short, what kind of man is Mark?
Mark is honest, sincere, straightforward, kind, caring. I could go on. Very energetic, charismatic. He's a multifaceted, he's a complicated person. He's not a simple person. There's a lot of talent. He's been both a personal friend and a cohort I've worked with, so I've had a lot of time to get to know him.
And how does he feel about kids?
Loves kids. Can't stand to see a kid who's being abused, neglected. A homeless kid just wrings him dry.
And why does he feel that way?
Because of his own background.
Can you tell us about that?
Well, he was kicked out when he was just 12 years old because he had a dream of being a musician. I had a stepfather who objected to that, and from the age of 12 on, Mark was on the streets. So when he sees a youngster in need, a kid who's in crisis, it really gets to him. He can hardly stand it.
And what about, do you know anything about even his younger years when he was just a little young kid, 4 or 5 years old? What were his experiences?
From what he has told me, he was placed in what he thought was a foster home. It was just a little tyke. He was badly abused there. A whip used on his back. He was locked in a room. Had meals slid under a door where the door had been cut at the bottom to just allow space for it. He was badly neglected.
Wow. Okay, so moving on here, do you know anything about the event in question that happened in 2007? And tell us about it, okay? And can you tell us about it?
Are you talking about when he was arrested?
Yes.
Yes. How much detail do you want from me, Jen?
Just give us a brief rundown here, and then I have some other questions that I'll ask.
Okay. Mark was he was working at I believe it's called Cowboy Town in Nashville, outside of Nashville, and became acquainted with 3 lovely little girls who came to the ranch and worked on the ranch kind of on a voluntary basis because they loved to be around horses and wanted to learn to ride better and so forth. And learned from, I believe it was the oldest girl, that they were being sexually molested by their father. That he had done it with the oldest girl, moved down to the middle girl, and was now beginning with the youngest girl. And he was very, very distraught over that. Talked to me about it, asked my advice. I told him I thought he probably should go to Child Protective Services. And in conversations back and forth by phone, he was in Nashville, I was here in California. He told me that he discussed it with several police officers, and they told him also he should file a report, which he did. Nothing happened. He waited a while longer. He contacted then the former Attorney General of the state of Tennessee, who he happened to know personally.
Okay, was that the Lieutenant Governor?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Lieutenant Governor, what did I just call him? That's right.
Attorney.
At any rate,
David Cooley, yeah.
yes, that's the name. As for his assistance, and that finally fostered some action. And the fallout from that is that the father was furious. Like, the girls obviously too frightened to admit that they were having a problem. And from that point on, this man was after Mark. He, the oldest girl, as I recall, this has been a while ago, we're talking some years back, as I recall, she either by phone or email did warn Mark that her father was trying to force her to say that she and Mark were having a relationship that was inappropriate. She was only 15 years old.
Okay.
Okay?
Um,
As a result, Mark was eventually arrested and charged with statutory rape.
okay. Not just rape, but
No, statutory rape.
okay.
What was the charge?
What were the charges exactly?
The charges?
Yeah.
The only thing I'm aware of is he was charged with statutory rape.
But do you know what the original charges were that were brought up? The 3 original charges.
At least I'm not coming up with anything. I just know that he was accused of doing inappropriate things with this young girl.
Okay. I have that it was aggravated statutory rape.
Aggravated? Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. And then they were, through the court, they were reduced. Is that correct? And then they were dropped.
That's correct.
Okay.
What about the next charge?
Okay, now there was a 4th charge that came after those 3 were dropped. Where did that come from, and what was that?
Why wasn't it brought up before?
I'm trying
I'm sorry.
I need to
totally
step
lost
in
on
here.
that question.
I need to step in
to.
here.
Okay, sorry.
It's okay. Nada. Hi, Nada. I'm talking with my publicist. This is Mark Connors. Nada, did you know about this situation?
Of course I did. We talked about it many times.
Okay. Do you know anything about parents or any other people on the ranch being involved in the investigation that I was doing against the father?
Yes.
Do you know, were there many of them or just 1 or 2?
As I recall, there were several parents who were involved.
How many girls worked on the ranch at that time?
Well, from what I recall, Mark, and from having been back there once and being on the ranch, I would say probably somewhere around 10 or 12 girls.
Okay. Did I own a company on Cowboy Town's property called MusicCityDudeRanch.com?
Yes, you did.
How do you know that?
I worked with you on it.
Did you build a website for it?
Yes.
Did you, have you ever been to Cowboy Town?
Yes.
Do you know that for a fact that I owned a company there?
Yes.
So then I really wasn't just a ranch hand, correct?
No, you not only did you own the company, but you also managed Cowboy Town.
Okay. Let's see. Did you ever meet the girls?
No, I did not.
Okay. Do you know whatever ended up happening with the father for these girls?
Well, from what I've read on the internet, he was arrested for tax fraud and has been in federal prison for the rest of his life.
Okay. When you and I met, was I in the music business?
Yes.
Did I already have 2 country music CDs out?
Yes, you did.
Was I already in national country music magazines?
Yes.
Did I already host television shows with major big stars before you even met me?
Yes.
So that would mean that I did have a musical background, lots of connections, really did have a career.
You had a music career, Mark. There's no doubt about that.
Okay. Who hosted my co-hosted my show with me, Music City Mix?
Lori.
That's good enough right there, Lori.
Okay, I can think of her her last
Right.
name.
Was she, did I have a personal crush on her?
Oh man, did you?
Okay. Did she ever come forth with any kind of complaints against me at all whatsoever?
Oh no.
Okay. Do you know any other women that have ever been alone with me ever that you could say, obviously there was no problem there either?
No.
Okay. See what else we got here. I'm going to end up editing this. What else we got there? You are listening to an unedited version, people. Oh, do you know anything about Mark Connors being in any relationship at all whatsoever, in any manner, with Jerry Buss, the owner of the Los Angeles Lakers? Yes or no?
Yes.
Would you consider that when you met Mark, was he financially secure?
I'm very secure at that point, yes.
Would you consider Mark at that time a wealthy man?
By my standards, yes.
Okay. Have you ever at all, in the time that you've worked with myself, Mark Connors, ever dealt with any other women at all whatsoever that have threatened my career?
Have threatened your career?
In any way whatsoever?
We've had a few oddballs who,
Okay. Have we ever served, that you know of, a restraining order on anybody in Oklahoma City for doing the same thing that's happening to me now?
Yes.
Was she a crazy wacko girl from the middle of nowhere?
She certainly was.
Okay. Did we finally get rid of her after like 10 years?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see what else we got there. Nate, tell me, have you ever seen me interview any big, giant country music stars, rock stars, or anything like that?
Not. I have seen it on video.
But okay, could you just name 2 or 3?
Oh gosh.
Have you ever seen me interview Taylor?
You're talking to the woman who can never bring up a name into her memory.
Have you ever seen me interview?
Bentley.
Have you ever seen me interview Taylor Swift?
Yes.
Have you ever seen me interview Dierks Bentley?
Yeah, just said Dirk Bentley. That one came to mind.
Have you ever seen me interview Toby Keith?
Yes.
Have I ever been on a show with Shania Twain?
Yes.
Have you ever seen me on the front row of any country music awards?
Yes.
How many times?
Twice.
That you've seen?
That I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
Personally.
Okay, personally, right. But okay, never mind. Would you say that my relationship with the Buss Empire had anything to do in any way with possibly this father going after me, yes or no?
Possibly, yes.
Why was I at Cowboy Town? Do you remember?
Good Cowboy Town?
Yeah. How did I end up at Cowboy Town? Do you remember?
Well, I remember that you're brought in to try to help saving business.
Uh-huh.
And that you were hired to manage Cowboy Town.
Uh-huh. At the same time while running my own company there.
Running your own company from Cowboy Town.
That is correct, right?
Yes.
Okay, and do you remember what Bill, the owner of Cowboy Town, said about me on the news?
I remember that it was all very positive. I couldn't quote it for you.
Uh-huh. Do you remember him saying, I've had more compliments on this man in 6 months than I've had on anybody here in 5 years?
I do remember that, yes.
Do you remember him backing me up and standing up for me on the news to everybody?
After you were arrested,
Uh-huh.
yes, I do.
Uh-huh. Would you say, Nada, that this could have affected me in really, really bad ways?
Well, sure.
How do you think it affected me? Knowing me, how did it affect me?
Oh, you were totally demoralized and completely embarrassed that anybody would think that you would ever be inappropriate with a young girl. It affected you. It made it almost impossible for you to make a living during the time that the charges were pending, because who wants to hire somebody who has charges pending against them, especially those kinds of charges?
Do you know if I went through job after job after job trying to make a living?
I do.
Do you know why I lost every single job? They only lasted 2 to 3 days apiece?
Because they became aware of these charges.
Uh-huh. And how did they find out, though?
I'm trying to recall, Mark.
Do you recall?
Several people recognized you.
Do you recall? Yeah. Do you recall a private investigator following me around, and every time that I signed an application, it was turned in somewhere that he hit a computer and that he got me fired?
Yes, I remember that now. I had forgotten that.
Okay. Do you remember either of these children, of the girls that I was helping at that time, to ever be harmful in any way to themselves?
Yes, I remember you telling me that the oldest girl was a cutter, that she had been cutting her body with her arms and her legs.
Do you remember if it was explained to you as a minor issue or a major issue?
Major.
Lots and lots and lots of cuts, or just one or
That's
two?
the way it was described to me.
One or two? Uh-huh.
No,
No.
lots of cuts.
Lots of cuts. Okay. Let's see. Do you know, were all the girls at the ranch that worked for me and Bill both, for both of our businesses, were they interviewed by the police department?
I believe they were.
Did any of them volunteer to come into court and appear on my behalf?
Yes.
How many do you think?
I don't recall, Mark. I know especially one young girl and her mother who were very supportive of you.
Okay, yeah, we don't want to say names, but there was a young girl and a mother that was very supportive.
Right.
Now, do you ever recall speaking with Mark about the fact that Mark and parents and everybody had come together and put $5,000 together in cash and went over to the house of the mother of the kids with a U-Haul truck and said, "Let's load you up and get you out of this house right now"?
Yes, I remember that.
Did the mom leave?
No.
Did she allow the girls to leave?
No.
They all stayed home.
Yes.
Do you know if the mother and the girls asked me for help?
It's my understanding that the girls asked you for help and that eventually the mother did too, but became maybe too frightened to carry it out when you actually showed up and it was time to go.
So what ended up happening? How did the courts find out that this was a crock?
How did the court find out that the charges were bogus?
Yeah.
As I recall, the young lady in question admitted to the prosecutors that she had been lying.
Do you remember that she also admitted to any police officers in the juvenile detention center when she was arrested for running away?
I don't recall that, Mark.
Okay. Let's see. What?
Why did you fight for them?
Oh. Why did I fight for these kids, Nita?
You fought for those kids because for the reason I guess anybody would who had any kind of heart. These are three girls who were trapped in a home. They were being molested by their father and not protected by their mother. And I recall you telling me that if you could, you would adopt all three of those girls, take them out of that home.
Okay. What?
How are you paying for this?
Oh. How do you think? What do you think? How do you think I'm paying for this now, Nita?
Oh, are you paying for it now?
Yeah. Well, first of all, did I ever do any jail time?
No.
Did I ever pay any fines?
No.
Was I restricted by the judge in the court system at all in any way whatsoever with anything?
No, there are no restrictions for you as far as contact with children. There are no restrictions. You were not required to file as a sex offender. I mean, nothing. There was nothing. You were given a clean slate.
Mm-hmm. Now, was the judge a male or a female?
Female.
Did she or did she not have a 14-year-old daughter that you know of?
My understanding that she did, yes.
Did she let me walk out of that courtroom?
Yes, she did.
Did I run like hell out of that courtroom?
You ran.
Okay. What?
How are you paying for it?
Oh, so how am I paying for this now? What's happened to me now from that?
Happening right now.
Yeah.
That has finally brought us to this point of actually talking about it.
Yes.
There's a woman who is an investigator who I understand is now putting out a link to an old news report regarding your arrest. Mm-hmm. And she's sending it to people that she knows you are working with.
Mm-hmm.
And it's my understanding from talking with you that she had an interest in having a spot on this particular radio show, and she was unsuccessful in getting what she wanted. And then, as this is kind of appears to be a result of that.
Mm-hmm. Nada, have you ever known Mark Connors, Mark Newland, anybody else that you ever known the guy as to ever be a womanizer?
Oh Lord, no, just the opposite.
Ah, that's bullshit. No musicians are the opposite. Why do you say? Why do you say that? Why do you say that?
Because I've known you for so long, Mark, and I've seen you. I mean, you have had you had one long-term relationship. When I met you, you had been divorced for a short time, and you were involved in a long-term relationship, and it was a long one. And after that, you have not had maybe one more, I would say one more relationship that lasts a matter of not quite a year.
Yeah,
You just
and that was
You're not a man who goes out and picks up women. You're not a man who's focused on that all the time.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now, do you know of, because the police at this time, when they arrested me, they said that they had videotape of me having sex 3 times with this young lady. Do you know of that?
I know that that's what they said.
Okay, do you know of a lady, and you don't have to hold back anything, Jennifer knows all about this. Do you know of a lady that stayed with me during the week that this supposedly all happened?
Yes.
She came in from town, is that correct?
Yes.
She was over 35 at least, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever seen me date? No, we won't do there because I never. That's not a good question. Have you ever seen me? Do you know that I saw this girl while she was there? Do you know that I dated this girl while she was in town?
Yes, I do.
And she was an actress in our video, isn't that correct?
Yes.
Came in from Florida. Never met her before.
Yes.
Right? But we had kind of a thing for each other, correct?
I remember that.
She spent 4 or 5 days with me. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
I did admit to you that I had made love, had sex, had a relationship, physical,
With her,
whatever
yes.
you want to call it, I did have with her, correct?
Yes.
And I told you how much she was a really beautiful person, a really good gal, and I felt comfortable with her.
Yes.
Okay, so would you assume that during that week, no, let me back up. She was in our music video, is that correct?
Yes, that's where you pointed me out to her.
Right. We went down.
Her out to me.
Right.
I got that. around
While
her.
we were shooting the music video, Nada, do you remember us telling you that we went to the music video shoot, and when we came back, I was locked out of my house? Do you remember that?
I remember that, and you had to break in.
Well, no. Do you remember me?
Well,
No.
you had found a window open.
There you go. She found the window open.
Okay.
I was getting ready to
remember
kick.
that now.
I was getting ready to kick the door down, and she ran around the corner going, "No, your bedroom screen is off. The window's open." Have you ever known me to ever leave my doors unlocked at all? Do you know that I'm a very secure person, right?
Oh, yes, indeed, because I have been, there was a time when your office and so forth were located here where I live in my community, and I was responsible for it, and I know how secure it was.
Okay. So you know I didn't leave my window open.
No, you were very, very careful about
Somebody, okay, I just want to point that out because I know that somebody broke into my home and recorded me having a sexual relationship with a full-grown woman. And it was audio, not video. And that lady is more than happy at any time to stand up and verify that. But I'm not in a court of law. I don't need to do that anymore.
No.
So we'll move on a little bit.
Okay.
Have you ever known Mark to get... Oh, no, let's back up to this thing. When Mark was at the video shoot with this lady from Florida, is this when they alleged that this stuff happened? Do you
I
remember?
believe so.
Okay. So I was with this woman all week long,
Right,
obviously not with anybody else.
right.
From the video shoot that was shot for an artist that we won't name, obviously everybody saw me there.
Right,
Everybody knew I was there.
right.
Do you remember that the 3 girls were invited to be in on this music video?
I think I remember that, Mark. It's been a long time, but I believe, I think so. I just can't remember all the details.
Do you believe that one of the girls would have been very upset and jealous to see me with another woman?
Yeah, the older girl was, the 15-year-old had a wild crush on you.
Did the father try to get me to marry his daughter?
Yes.
Why?
Because she had become a problem. She was finally reaching a point where she was rebelling against what she was being forced into in that home.
Mm-hmm.
And she was becoming a problem, and he wanted to be rid of the problem.
Uh-huh. So he tried to marry her off to me, huh?
Yes, 15-year-old.
Uh-huh. And what did I do?
Freaked. You said absolutely not.
Uh-huh. And, okay. All right. Nada, have you ever known me to be in trouble before?
In trouble?
Yeah, with the law.
Yeah, you've been in trouble with the law before.
Okay. Have you known me to be in any major trouble with the
No.
law? Have you known me to ever be in any trouble with the law since this incident?
No.
In any way?
No.
Am I free to be around any child I want to?
Yes.
I'm free to open a martial arts studio and work with children if I want to.
Yes.
I'm free to do anything I want to. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Because a judge, a judge,
On a jury.
my peers, in a court of law, decided that. Correct? Correct? So, should I be judged now, again?
No, this should be a non-issue. It happened, you lived through it, it was ugly, it was awful, it stalled your career, it stalled your life. This is not something you should have to deal with over and over and over again, Mark.
Okay, Nada, the end result in the courtroom was what?
It was that you were...
Or I'll just ask you questions, you can say yes or no. Were the 3 original charges dropped?
Yes.
First of all, let's back up. The first 3 original charges were aggravated statutory rape. Is that true?
That's correct.
The newspaper printed it as ranch hand, country singer arrested for rape.
Yes.
Okay, so it wasn't rape, right?
No, it was
Aggravated-
charged with statutory rape.
Let's get it right. Aggravated statutory rape.
rape.
Then they reduced all 3 charges to statutory rape. Wasn't that correct?
That's correct.
And then they dropped all 3 charges. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
And then there was a 4th charge all of a sudden.
I'm trying to recall that, Mark.
Yes, that's the one that I pled what on?
Well, what was that
Okay,
fourth
folks.
charge?
Same thing.
Pardon?
It was the same thing.
Oh, the same thing. Again.
Oh, yeah. When they dropped the 3,
no
she stood up,
contest.
and the father stood up and said, "Oh no, there's another one."
not an admission
Okay.
of
I'm sorry, Mark. I didn't recall that.
That's okay.
There's
So
a way to
was
get
that
gun rights.
what did that charge? What did I do with that charge?
It was a way to, It was a way to get my gun rights and my voting rights. So, the state of Tennessee wanted me to not be able to vote anymore. Interesting, huh? The state of Tennessee didn't want me to be able to carry a gun anymore. Interesting, isn't it? Folks, I hope that you all can see through what's going on here. I hope that all of you folks can understand how this happened. I want you also, folks, to know how this could happen to you at any time. Anybody, at any time. It's pretty sad. Pretty sad. Now, folks, my page has been hacked. My Mark Connors page has been hacked. We have not had access to it for probably about, I don't know, most of yesterday on up till about maybe an hour ago. Look what it says at the top of my page. How's it going, Mark? Well, I'll tell you how it's going. It's going fine. Just fine. I am the host of theconnorsreport.com. I've been here for almost 6 years. I'm here now, and I will be here tomorrow. You are not shutting me down. I appreciate your time, folks. I love you. Good night.
Of my fast and fading life, and I died down for the count. Ooh, and I can't seem to lift myself up from the ground. I'm just caught in a trap with nothing